a symbol of international tennis excellence. This is the men's championship trophy for the prestigious Grand Slam event, the French Open. Today on the red clay in Paris, two former French champions will battle for its possession. Sweden's Mats Wilander, who became the youngest ever to win a Grand Slam event when at a bouncy 17 he beat veteran Guillermo Vilas. That was 3 years ago in a lengthy 4.5-hour experience. Wilander in the far court, match point, following closely in the shadow of countryman Bjorn Borg. Wilander reflecting many of Borg's superb qualities: endurance, patience, solid baseline stroking, and incredible accuracy. In 4 sets, the French Open had its youngest champion ever. The next year, Wilander again earned his way into the French finals at Roland Garros. Defending champion, but a decided underdog to unique Noah, Rastafarian lock, and a national hero here in France. It had been 37 long years since the French had cheered a champion of their own. Noah serving for the title in the far court. Wilander's shot flies long, and the brilliant Noah ignited a national celebration. Last year, New Yorker John McEnroe was the favorite as he met Ivan Lendl of Czechoslovakia. The #1 seed, McEnroe in the far court, dominated Lendl through the early going and seemed certain to give the United States its first French title in nearly 30 years. The world's #1 ranked player, McEnroe slugged out convincing winners in the first 2 sets. But Lendl was not to succumb. Now in the far court, the rangy Czech seemed to find a new source of energy, running down apparent McEnroe winners, stretching out each point with his outstanding play, and eventually delivering a series of brilliant winners of his own. McEnroe would taste the effects. Tiring, he would lose the 3rd and the 4th set as Lendl fashioned an incredible comeback. And now Lendl, long denied a Grand Slam title in the near court, attacks, but volleys wide, and Lendl was the 1984 champion, Mats Wilander. Welcome to beautiful Paris, France, as NBC Sports is proud to present the men's championship of the 1985 French Open. Welcome to Paris, France, and Roland Garros Center Court for the 1985 French Open Men's Championship. Just minutes ago, 2-3 minutes ago, it was raining. The tarp had covered center court, and in the last minute or so, the sun has arrived. This is the first time we've seen blue all afternoon, 5 minutes after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and shortly indeed, it'll be Mats Wilander, who won it here in 1982 against the defending French champion, Ivan Lendl and Bud Collins. The people here in France are still buzzing about high drama on center court yesterday.
Well, they really are, and I hope you watched it. Christine Marie Evert-Lloyd defeating Martina Navratilova, the heavy favorite, 7-5 in the 3rd. They're close friends, perhaps one of the great matches of all time, one of the best I've ever seen. And at the end, they embraced one another like a couple of fighters after a very difficult and good 15 rounds because they knew what each had been through. And Martina was so sportsman-like in losing, gave all credit to Chris, and vice versa. And I hope you did see it.
And we will, in our 5-hour live presentation from Paris today, pay proper tribute, if time provides, for those two outstanding ladies, the two leading players in the women's game. Well, today, Mats Wilander and Ivan Lendl, your feelings about the men's match?
Well, I think Wilander was glad to see it rain as he was against John McEnroe. You know what my Uncle Studley says? He says, Paris is like a martini. Wet or dry, you can't beat it. But Wilander likes it wet because that makes the court heavy, it makes it slow, and it will cut some of the speed out of that tremendous serve of Ivan Lendl. So I think Mats was delighted to see rain all morning and then the sun come out now.
But Lendl, since he won the French title here a year ago, seems to be playing the best tennis ever, and he's always been tough.
He is a better tennis player than he was a year ago, if you can believe that, when he came back from 2 sets down against John McEnroe to seize a victory that seemed to be McEnroe's, most certainly. He's stronger. He's playing with more confidence. He's lost only 2 matches out of 33 played, and he wants to keep this title because to a European, this is the biggie.
We are joined at courtside with a gentleman who will be with us also at Wimbledon in a couple of weeks. Let's go now to Stan Smith.
Thank you, Dick. First, I'd like to say to the ladies, when you come to Paris this time of year, bring your bikini, pack your woolies, but don't forget your umbrella. You just never know what's going to happen here. And, of course, the weather today is cold, damp, and with threatening rains. Now, to talk about the strokes of the match, Lendl has a better forehand. Mats has a much more solid backhand. Lendl's going to get some free points on his serve, but Mats is going to be more aggressive when he comes to the net. When you look at the records of these fellows, Lendl has an edge in the record, but I think when these guys get on the court, you got to throw out all those past performances. This match is going to be a match of wills. Who's going to hit the most balls in the court, and who's going to win that physical battle?
Mats Wilander at 20. He won here at 17 years of age in 1982. He's first to arrive, and Ivan Lendl, the defending champion. Wilander with a mini streak of having won at least one Grand Slam championship in each of the last 3 years. 82 it was here in France, and he's the Australian champion 83 and 84. Lendl, who struggled, made it to several, in fact 5 Grand Slam finals without a victory until last year when he beat in 5 dramatic sets, a match that was called by many the best men's match of 1984.
Wilander is only 9 years behind Chris Evert Lloyd now. 9 years. You say he's had a Grand Slam in the last 3 years. Yesterday, she made an untouched mark of 12 successive years with at least one Grand Slam tournament in each.
Ivan Lendl, now 25 years of age. You saw how Wilander advanced in Friday's semifinals. Well, Lendl knocked out Jimmy Connors. Welcome back live to Roland Garros in Paris, just 10 minutes from the Seine and the heart of this great city. Ivan Lendl and Mats Wilander matched in the 1985 Men's Championship, and here's how they arrived at this final match for one of the Grand Slam titles.
Ivan Lendl started out against a South African, Eddie Edwards, who was an All-American at Pepperdine. Then the only tough set he's had, Swede Jan Gunnarsson, a Frenchman, Jerome Potier, and then boy Aaron Krickstein, 17-year-old out of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. That hurt. Martin Hayate, good clay court player from the Argentine, and finally James Scott Connors, who didn't have so much as one break point.
Only won 6 games. Meanwhile, Mats Wilander, his record almost as impressive. He has lost only 4 sets during the course of play. Talanya, the Frenchman, Boris Becker, brilliant teenager from Germany, managed 6 games. Emilio Sanchez did take a set, the first set off Wilander. Thomas Schmidt, he was seeded 13, straight sets victim. Henri Leconte, who won the favor of many of the French in beating Yannick Noah, and others felt quite disappointed that he eliminated their national hero and the champion of 2 years ago, although Noah did take one set, and then of course Wilander eliminated the #1 seed John McEnroe in straight sets. And there is the championship trophy and a champion of yesteryear.
René Lacoste. You saw him with a hat on. The cup is the Coupe des Mousquetaires, the 4 Musketeers for whom this stadium was built, and that was René Lacoste, 80 this year, the crocodile. Don't let anybody tell you those reptiles on the sport shirts are alligators. They're crocodiles. He designed the shirt.
Ivan Lendl.
Chair umpire Jacques Dorfman introducing the 2 finalists, and just as play begins, so come the parapluies, the umbrellas, as rain begins to fall once again, and we would guess that this is going to be the pattern throughout this afternoon. It's after 3:30 here in Paris. While this is the best weather of the day, there are ominous clouds off to the left from which the weather is arriving.
This court will take a lot of water as we look at Jacques Dorfman, the imperious man in the high chair. He's in charge. We had 4 100-degree days last week.
Nice hit by Lendl. And this crowd, many of them fighting the ill weather for 6-7 hours. They were here early in the morning to get those high seats at center court. It's wide, 30 low. The guess is, Bud Collins said, Wilander, if anyone plays aggressively and comes to the net, it will be the young Swede.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, Lendl came in only twice against Connors. The first time after they'd played 1 hour and 46 minutes. Then he thought it might be a good idea, so he did it a half hour later.
He's wide, 40 low. Wilander less prone to error. He makes you beat him. His first trip to the net is a winner. Mats Wilander wins the first game of this '85 French Championship. Colorful crowd protecting against the threats of this Sunday afternoon in June in Paris. Mats Wilander holding his first service attempt, and now it's Ivan Lendl. The winner gets over $146,000. The runner-up half that amount. Pretty good payday, but more importantly, a Grand Slam championship.
Yeah, the money doesn't really mean too much.
You say that in jest?
No, I mean, these guys are both millionaires, and it's a nice payday, but the title is so negotiable to them that it's just the tip of the tax accountant.
People ask me about the money and the prize money when you're playing a match, but actually when you're playing a match, you don't even think about it. In the locker room after you've lost the match, you start counting it up.
Wilander comes to the net for the second time. He's 2 for 2.
Well, Stan Smith is sort of our Eiffel Tower version of Willard Scott. And I'd like to have a wind report, Stan, because it looks like it's really moving down there.
Well, it wasn't windy all morning, and I thought the crowds were going to hang around, but now the wind has picked up, and that's going to be a factor in this match today.
Which way is it going?
Well, it's going from Lendl towards Wilander, and actually to Wilander's forehand.
15 all.
The wind is tricky, though. It goes different ways on the court than it does when you see the flags waiting.
Lendl's going to hit a few backhands today? So let's go inside out, says Mats. Right to your backhand. And he follows that in. He's been in twice and won both points.
Begins to rain more seriously. 15-30, second game of the match.
Dick, that's an understatement. It is really coming down now. They won't play another point.
Well, I think Jacques Dorfman would like to finish this game if possible. He'd like to have them. They don't want to go off now if they can help it. They'd like to have even games played.
And a big serve from Lendl to go 30-all.
This court will take a lot of water.
In that regard, it is fortunate that that's where they're playing today, on grass or even a hard court. They'd be back in the dressing room.
Yes, they'd have to go off.
For three.
Well, the old sneak.
Break point for Wilander.
That's a good play by Mats. Lendl likes to hit that high floating backhand, and Mats is quick enough to get in there and hit that overhead.
Well, you look at that shot, it's like a Monet flower garden. It's wide, and Wilander has broken to take a 2-love lead. Bright sunshine for the moment, and blue skies off to the left. The weather moving in from that direction, to the left of the server Wilander.
There's men who went from teenagers to champions.
And the two men involved at center court today are two of the five, and Wilander did it very impressively as a 16-year-old. He won the juniors here in '81, and the next year, unseeded, took the championship, following in the giant footsteps of countryman Bjorn Borg, who won here 6 times, a record for men. Now, Wilander has worked very hard to improve his game, has he not, Bud?
Lendl is doing a lot of moving on this point, as Wilander merely taps the volley from side to side.
But he has not been content just to be a good backcourt player, baseline player. He's worked on improving his net game. He's tried to become a better player on grass and hard courts.
Dick, part of that evolution is the fact that he's playing doubles. He's playing with Nystrom. He played this tournament, got to the semifinals, and his doubles has really improved his net game.
15-30. So 11 minutes into the match, Lendl comes to the net.
So Lendl takes his opportunity. He wants a forehand inside out, approaches on it, and the volley hangs there for him like a hanging curve.
And 2 chances to get that break back. One breaker erased, 30-40. Both men, if they had their druthers, would just soon be out playing some golf today. They're avid fans and both play left-handed. Wilander shoots to a 12 handicap. He's out of bounds with that one. Another break chance for Lendl, 3rd in the game. Wilander playing inside the baseline.
He worked his way in beautifully. Measured play of Mats Wilander as he finally found the opening, and he doesn't have to have much of a volley when he sets it up so well.
Thoughtful clay court play by Wilander. He's up a break and he's fought back to deuce. 2-love, opening set.
And that's something the way Tony Trabert played in 1955, the last American to win. Now, Tony was a much better volleyer than Mats Wilander and a more attack-minded player, but he was very patient. He could play from the baseline and await that opening. Then he was quick to seize it.
Third deuce of the game.
Bad starts are nothing new to Lendl. Nobody got a worse start than a year ago, losing the first 2 sets and practically the 3rd to McEnroe.
He was down 2 sets in just about an hour.
Yvonne really is showing some nerves out there. He's missing a lot of forehands, which is his bread and butter shot.
Now Lendl with his 5th break chance and gets a second ball. Whoops. And the double fault. Game to Lendl. It's 2-1 Wilander, the opening set of this 85 French Championship. Ivan Lendl, the beneficiary of that double fault to break back against Wilander. It's 1-2 in the opening set. Sun shining brightly now in Paris. After a miserable morning, it drizzled most of the early hours, and we had even some heavy showers
10 minutes before the players took the court.
One of the differences we see early on, Dick, is that Wilander is playing very close to the baseline, where Lendl is playing back probably 2 or 3 yards from the baseline during the rallies. Wilander is looking for the attack.
15 love. Big serve from Ivan Lendl.
He had 7 aces against Jimmy Connors the other day on a heavy court. There are Lendl's parents on the right, Olga Lendlova, and his father, Jiří Lendl.
They both were ranked, were they not?
Well, she was really a very good player, the top 10 in Czechoslovakia. His father was ranked as a district player and is an excellent chess player.
Lendl, born and raised in Prague, but now has homes in the United States, Greenwich, Connecticut, and in Palm Beach, Florida.
Ivan does not spend much time at all in Czechoslovakia. He loves the Americans.
Love.
Serve and volley.
Game to Lendl. It's 2-all.
Jeu. Lendl. 2 jeux.
Well, don't send this in for your tennis textbook, but he gets the job done.
Looks like yours. What was wrong with it?
Did look a little like my volley.
Wilander seems determined to make this an interesting match strategically.
I think the fact that Wilander is coming to the net is going to force Lendl to come to the net, because he can't just stay back there and wait for Wilander to miss.
Lendl, when he gets that left leg around, he can really belt the forehand. He knew he'd done some damage with it, and he quickly sees the opportunity to get at least to the service line to deliver that blow.
Lendl has won 4 tournaments so far in '85. The Payne, Weber, and Fort Myers. He beat Connors 3-2. Beat Wilander in Monte Carlo in 4 sets. Mayotte in Dallas in straight sets, and McEnroe 6-3-3 at Forest Hills a few weeks ago. Wilander's looking for his first tournament win of this year. But he's always loved this red dirt at Roland Garros. In fact, but if you count Wilander's record in '81, the junior year, when he went 6-0 to win the junior title, he's 29-2
Here
in Paris. His only losses to Noah in the finals 2 years ago, and Lendl knocked him out last year in the quarterfinals.
Now Lendl crowding way around to his left, wants a forehand.
flies the backhand. Game to Wilander. 3-2 Wilander. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Wilander mène par 3.
Opening set, each man has broken. It's 2-3 Lendl. Lendl waiting for the crowd to settle.
I'm amused by tennis players. If one person in a crowd of 17,000 is standing up, one of the players will see that person. Jacques Dorfman, the umpire, traditionally does the men's final. That's a nice wrinkle that Lendl has been working on, the drop shot, and he scored twice today with it.
Service right on that center line, 30 love.
This wind can be a factor with Lendl's serve. If it gets very windy, it's going to be tough with that high toss.
Crowd of well over 16,500. That's how many actual seats there are at center court, but they're jammed into the aisles. The winner for Lendl and a love game. It's 3-all. Wilander applying the pressure.
Now Matt's heavy topspin, waiting. Where's my chance? Come on, let me get in there. And he lines it up with a backhand, follows it a little cautiously, but is there, and the passing shot was wide. Wilander with the two-handed backhand gets well around on it. Both of them top spinners. The bosses of the Swedish SWAT team, John Anders Sjögren, the coach, and in the upper right, Hockey Olsen, the captain of the Swedish Davis Cup team who won the cup over the United States in December.
John McEnroe tasted the strength of the Swedish team. He was able to fight his way through Sundström and Nyström, but Wilander was there to KO him in straight sets on Friday.
It was like a tag team match, and Mats Wilander said afterwards, he said, you know, John, we have great respect for John, but he can't beat 3 of us. Get it. Try again.
Great point for Lendl, saving on those 3 overheads.
Hard-working point. Wilander at the net, but Lendl's going to drive him right back because he doesn't hit the overhead well enough. So Mats retreats to the baseline, but he wants to get up again. He did get up again, but lost the point on a forehand passing stroke.
30 all. Wilander constantly playing to Lendl's backhand. And then misses as he tries to go down the line to his forehand, and it's a break chance for Lendl at 30-40. 3 all in the first set.
That venture to the net and those missed overheads, or those overheads that you put away, really has an effect upon you mentally, because you get a little bit nervous. You try to press too hard on your next shot.
Sent out, light shower falling.
And the game to Lendl. He breaks to take the lead for the first time. Ivan Lendl, the '84 champion, leads 4-3 in the first.
Oh, typical Frenchman enjoying the action here. C'est bon, monsieur.
Jean Casson, eh?
Oui.
Just below him, you see the top of his head, is Jan Kodiš, the Czechoslovak, who was captain of the Czech Davis Cup team, Lendl's captain, and he won this title in 1970 and 71.
There he is, lower left, Anastasio Kodiš.
And they may play the United States in October in Prague. I would pay my way to see that one.
Lendl leading for the first time, 4-3. Rocket serve. Lendl, who appears to be so much taller than 6'2". The only losses this year to Henri Leconte at Dusseldorf and Stefan Edberg. 31 wins, only 2 defeats.
He's beaten McEnroe the last 2 times they've played. The force of that forehand just keeps driving Wilander back so that the volley is relatively simple. And he hasn't missed a volley. Maybe Coach Roach is really helping. Tony Roach has been added to the Lendl coaching staff to advise him on attacking tactics, particularly on grass at Wimbledon. Tony Roach, one of those Aussie good old boys.
And also, since he's left-handed, Lendl feels it helps him against the McEnroes and Connors of his life.
I think the most important thing about Tony Roach coaching Lendl is Tony Roach has been there. He's been to the finals. He's won the Grand Slam tournaments. Feedback, although a great player, had never been there. I think this is an added element to Lendl's arsenal. You can just see the way Lendl is walking around the court now that he's gotten over his jitters. He's much more confident.
He's 7-5 head-to-head lifetime against Wilander, and the last 5 times they played, all on clay, he won 4 of the 5.
The sawdust man. They have to sweep up after him indoors, but it just goes into the dust here. Pockets full of sawdust.
First serve percentage, Lendl 71%. That's good. Wilander 75.
Until now, I'd say in this tournament that Lendl has been playing well within himself. He has never attacked as he has today. And he was saying after the Connors match, he says, well, I put the ball over the net by 10 feet. Jimmy is only a few inches. He says he has a very low margin of error. After the match, Jimmy said he did absolutely nothing. Connors got 6 games.
40-15. Lendl a point away from 5-3.
First chance for the net judge, Fortescue Crudeau, middle right of your screen. There's Fortescue, named for his great-great-grandfather Fortescue, one of the most famous of net judges.
Traces all the way back to Jus de Paume, early French days.
Oh!
Just long, 40-30. We understand that the ladies' doubles being played concurrently because of the weather. They moved the ladies' doubles from center court, scheduled at noon today, over to court 1, the bull ring as they call it here, and they're starting the 3rd set. Navratilova and Shriver with a long winning streak approaching 100 straight in a deciding 3rd set against Sukova and Kota Kilch.
The Twin Towers, and boy, they nearly beat Shriver and Navratilova at Madison Square Garden in the Virginia Slims final.
Game to Lendl, and he leads 5-3.
So Ivan, peerless on the volley. It may not be a thing of beauty as he works his way up, but it is a point-making force.
Those approach shots, you don't have to hit great volleys. You just hit those deep approach shots and just block the ball into the open court.
That's what Chrissy Everett-Lloyd is starting to learn.
Chrissy looked great yesterday, didn't he, Bud? Didn't she, with those approach shots and those great volleys?
Wicked gusts of wind.
Oh, took it right away from Lendl.
Must have been from the north, maybe Swedish.
Could have been. Now there's no way he's going to get the ball because the wind just pulled it away from him.
15 all.
Maybe Wilander wind.
Wide. 15-30. Stan Smith, it must be difficult for a lot of fans in the United States. Now, these two men grew up on a clay surface. Why can't, with all the great talent in the U.S., why can't an American man win here 30 years? Why is it so different? We'll take a break and get your reply to that.
Lendl decides to attack behind a backhand. Now Motz went for a topspin lob. It misfired on him, and he is burned.
Double set point for Ivan Lendl. Right on the line, and the first set is in the pocket of the 25-year-old Czechoslovakian Ivan Lendl, 6-3. Member of the Ivan Lendl camp, Tony Roach, who was a French champion a few years ago, left-hander. Lendl, as he has throughout the course of the 2 weeks here in Paris, breezing through set after set. No one has taken one from him yet. 6-3, winner in the first. New balls.
I think this reminds me a little bit of the onslaught that Guillermo Vilas had a few years back. He won every match with a 6-love set. Ivan has not dropped a set yet and looks looking more confident in every point.
Well, that was 1977, and Vilas, like Lendl now, won the first 19 sets he played, and then he lost the next 3 to Wilander. 1982, I should say. Must have popped a string.
Boy, times do change economically and other ways. Tony Roach in '68, when he was one of the top players in the world, mustered for the year $63,000. Look at Lendl and McEnroe, $2 million plus. That's just in prize money.
That was the first year of open tennis, 1968, and indeed Tony Roach was right up there. He and Rod Laver and Kenny Rosewall were the leading money winners. These days, they're around, they'd be in the $2 million class easily.
Low 15. New balls and a new racket for Lendl. Wilander thought he'd caught the line.
Yeah.
That ball caught the edge of the line. You could see the mark there. It's part of it's on the line, part of it's not.
But Gerard Monteau on the sideline sticks with his call.
Dick, to answer your question about these Americans here on these slow clay courts, the Americans aren't born on the clay like these Europeans and South Americans are. Plus, the Americans don't put the time on these clay courts as much as these other fellows do, and don't feel as comfortable moving on the court. Fellows are steady, but they just don't move on the court as well.
$15 all. Those are the kinds of shots that Lendl delivered against McEnroe last year to rally from 2 sets down and beat the U.S. top hope 7-5 in the 5th.
First one he missed. I hope our partner Dick won't blush when I say this, but I consider the finest victory ever registered by an American male overseas was on slow clay in Bucharest, Romania in 1972. Stan Smith winning both his singles over Tiriac and Nastasi in a very tight Davis Cup match. The crowd and the officials were not exactly happy to have the Americans there.
We talked about the movement, Stan, and we can appreciate how the real good players are, how well they slide as they deliver their shots, using the slide as part of the technique. 40-30.
You look at Mats Wilander, and he is hardly ever off balance. He really has tremendous movement, sliding so he stops as he hits the ball and not sliding through it like most of us Americans do.
But he seems to have lost that drive to get to the net he started with, and it may be because Lendl's groundies are just too stiff.
Oh, you can see the wind really playing tricks with the ball. The movement left to right, almost like trying to hit a knuckler. Deuce.
I think the difference in this match, it's early to say this, but the difference as you look in the faces of these two fellows is that Ivan exudes some confidence when Mats really doesn't. He hasn't won in a long time, and this is an ultimate for him. You see that in the eyes, and you see that in the way they carry themselves on the court.
Great point for Wilander. Very big chance to break Lendl to start the second set after Ivan captured the first 6-3. Meanwhile, a report from next door, Court 1, in the third set. Navratilova and Shriver, the #1 seeded women's double team, leading 4-1 in the third over Sakova and Kota Kilch.
Trying for their 99th straight victory. That was fault. And Paul Kemajou on the line. signaled fault.
Second serve on break point.
Wilander breaks Lendl to open the second set.
Welcome back to center court. Roland Garros in Paris live. Croissant and Cafe. Dick Enberg with Bud Collins and Stan Smith. And there are the statistics in the first set. First serve percentages. Lendl the bigger hitter, and you figure he'll have less of a percentage. Winners +8 for Lendl. Unforced errors even. Wilander has to drop that count if he's to entertain hopes of rallying after the first set win. 6-3 Lendl. Wilander has broken Lendl to start the second.
Lendl's been very sharp at seizing his opportunities to come in and making the most of them. He's missed only one volley today.
And setting up those approaches with that vicious forehand.
And again the forehand to go love 30.
He likes to run around the backhand. It's almost like student body right. He just puts all that power behind the forehand, and that paves the way to the net. Don't get many cheap points like that from Ivan.
Ivan stood way in on that second serve. It's the furthest I've ever seen him stand into return serve ever.
He's going to try it again, Stan. Way over to his left. Ryan? Indecisive. Started out as though we were going to flip a topspin lob, then go down the line, and nothing.
Lendl, 2 chances to break back.
Lendl has done a very good job at keeping knots off balance.
Wilander selected well. After rallying a lot, He goes down the line to the Lendl backhand, which wasn't too bad. He had to make a very good volley.
Still break point for Lendl, 30-40.
Lendl not expecting the down the line. Going in the usual pattern, cross court to Lendl's backhand, when suddenly Mats tries something different.
Good. Caught the line. Lendl another break chance. That's a third of this game.
What a lusty forehand and not very good position. Net cord, and it helped Ivan, although he hit a very good forehand.
And that gives him a break of service. It's 1-all in the second.
Wilander may not have had a wise idea there, coming in against the cannon, the forehand.
And we get word next door, the winning streak continues. Navratilov and Shriver win 6-2 in the third set against Koda-Kilch and Sakova, the very tall doubles team. 6'1", 6'2". Their height, not the score, 6'1", 6'2" inches.
Sakova the taller. And the last time they played went down to a tiebreaker in the third set. And Sakova and Koda-Kilch had a set point. They lost the breaker 9-7.
Well, Wilander in both sets of this match has broken Lendl on Lendl's first serve of the set, only to have Lendl come right back, take serve from the Swede, and we're at 1-all in the second after Lendl won the first 6-3.
Got the line, I think. Wilander takes the short ball, the right play, and there was such heavy topspin on that he darn near missed the ball.
15-all.
Wind again. And Lendl did a remarkable job of just staying in that point. It seemed that every time he was striking the ball, the wind was blowing it away from him. 15-30.
Lendl is now keeping Wilander back behind the baseline. The depth of his shot and the power behind the shots are keeping Wilander back there.
In case you joined us late after a slight delay at the start because of the rain throughout most of the morning and early afternoon, Ivan Lendl won the first set 6-3, 1-all in the second. 15-30. Played just over an hour. Wind to carry that ball out, 30-all.
These are difficult conditions. Top dressing, blowing right off the court.
I was sitting next to Dennis Ralston yesterday, and he said that the wind is blowing exactly opposite directions that the flags are showing. In other words, the flags are going from me right to left, and it's actually left to right on the court itself.
Wilander to the net for a break point.
And Matz seems a little bolder now as he was in the first set, jumping on the short ball.
Wind nailing the flag straight away from Lendl, and actually it's blowing more toward Lendl and to Lendl's left.
Oh, boy.
Even on the slow clay, that power of the forehand of Lendl. Wilander unable to get to that ball. He was getting to many of the McEnroe shots that were well placed on Friday.
Not the sting in McEnroe's shots that Lendl carries.
Your Uncle Studley's croissant and cafe, or did he share that?
He said he would not be with us for the first set. He said it's lovely breakfast in Paris, but that's a little bit early. But he will be with us shortly.
Another break chance for Wilander. He's a big fan of pain au chocolat, huh?
Well, my Uncle Studley's breakfast in Paris today, and he'll be getting around. You've heard of Eggs Benedict?
Yes.
His is Eggs Benedictine, and he frequently forgets the eggs.
Well, that is no yolk then. Break chance for Wilander.
Did I hear that right down here?
Another solid volley by Lendl. Back to deuce.
I'm going to let my Uncle Studley lie in his Benedictine after this one, but John Feinstein of the Washington Post, who was had never seen McEnroe lose before the other day, and he said, well, your Uncle Studley's not going to like it because there's no American in the final. I said, wrong. He can hate both of them.
Lendl 1-all in deuce. Second set. He won the first. Oh, double fault. The first of the match for Lendl. And Wilander has his third chance.
I think the point Stan Smith made earlier is right on. That's a difficult day for tossing the ball for anyone. And when you're stratospheric in your toss, like Lendl, that's a problem.
Now, just watch how high he tosses the ball. I don't think anyone on the tour throws it any farther over the head. Right out of your picture. Well, he didn't win the point, but there was a good example on that point of how Wilander slides into his shots using the soft surface.
You have to be able to slide to be a clay court player. Lendl, running around his backhand, sets up the forehand.
And the third deuce of this game.
The fans right by the court are getting doused with that clay as it blows across the court.
Lendl waiting for a fan to make his way to the portal.
This is turning into the Sahara Open.
Advantage Lendl.
Lendl will toss the ball practically out of the screen. Exceptionally high. Unlike Roscoe Tanner, who made our breakfast at Wimbledon final in 1979, who used to seem to hit it right off his nose.
Advantage Lendl.
Approached against the forehand and paid for it. Lendl holds. It's 2-1 in the second.
Lendl mène par 2 jeux à 1.
Oh, we are so fortunate to be blessed with a day while windy with some sunshine after the rain of the morning. And there, for what you can see of it, is the official flag bid by the country, the French, and Paris for the 1992 Olympic Games. And some tough competition.
Through the campaigning, principally of Philippe Chatrier, who runs the French Federation and the International Tennis Federation, that tennis will return to the Olympic Games in Seoul.
No, it's wide. In Seoul in '88, Paris competing with Barcelona, Amsterdam, London, among many. Brisbane also in the running for the '92 Olympics. That to be announced within a year, I would think.
There is Philippe Chatrier. He was a Davis Cup player, too, for France, founder of Tennis de France magazine. And he did quite a bit in reforming this tournament. The first year I was here, it wasn't really that agreeable a place. They had a lot of rain that year, and most of the walkways were dirt, and you were afloat in mud. 73, but
18 or 19?
I can't remember.
1973, I guess.
So Matt's working on the shallow ball with an inside-out approach and setting up this.
30-15. And the fans here in Paris shouting in unison, "We, yes," to that overhead smash winner. Indeed, Philippe Chartrier, they've spent millions of dollars in improving the facilities here. A strong game for Wilander to go 2-all.
But I think the biggest change I've seen since I've been coming here since 1968 was the change in the fact that people are here watching the first week of matches. Because when I first got here, the first week was not very popular, but tennis has become very popular here in France.
The tournament was sold out in February.
Well over 250,000 fans will have watched the 2 weeks of this 85 championship. Around 18,000 of those jammed at center court today. 2-all, second set. Lendl up a set.
Matt seeming to become a little more opportunistic now. Looking for the chance to rush, and has it. Well, you've got to take chances against Lendl because he'll nail you from the baseline.
Good strategy behind Ivan Lendl as he's sliding to the middle of the court.
Wilander playing his best tennis of the match.
Now, the drop shot tried it, worked. The first time Lendl tried it, it was a winner for him. But this time he finds himself behind on the count.
And love 30.
Well, there's a taste of the wonderful play of Wilander that frustrated McEnroe on Friday.
Wilander wouldn't stay out of this point, even though Lendl had a couple of good shots at it. And moving right up to the net. And Lendl chastised himself severely after that, slammed the ball.
3 chances to break Lendl again.
It's wide, and Wilander putting together back-to-back his 2 best games of the match. Breaks ahead 3-2 in the second.
Still some ugly clouds off in the distance, but sun overhead at center court here at Roland Garros as we approach the 5 o'clock hour Paris time. Ivan Lendl winning the first set 6-3, but Mats Wilander with some brilliant plays in the last 2 games is up a break 3-2 in the second.
But can he consolidate it? He never has. He's been broken right back each time.
That's 8 straight points for Wilander.
During the rallies, Lendl has cheated over 1 step to his backhand to give Wilander an opportunity to hit the forehand. Watch where he's positioned right here.
Two bounces, but let's try to see.
30. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez rester aussi silencieux que possible en cours d'échange.
Lendl really got moved around. Wilander hit a short ball. I don't know if it was intentional or not. No, he got it.
And then the lob, an effective weapon to go 30 love. And in this run of points, 9 in a row, Wilander beating Lendl to the punch.
Lendl really earned that one. Eyeball to eyeball, and he hit a ball that is behind him, and then he has time to hit a really good backhand.
A little cat and mouse play there. It looks like the cat won.
30-15. Oh, coming in behind his serve.
Very good time for it. He hadn't done it before, and it startled Lendl. He got a fairly easy smash to take himself to game point.
Point away from 4-2. And an ace is first of the match. No question, Wilander in a hot streak in the middle of this second set. NBC Sports Banner reminds us to, on behalf of everyone in our family, to offer our sympathies to Carl Lindemann, who passed away earlier this week. Lindemann was a giant in our profession, sports television, involved in Wimbledon, and tennis was one of his favorite sports. NBC's devotion to the game of baseball, in part going back to his leadership days at NBC Sports, and we send our sympathies along to all of his family.
Carl was a very avid tennis player. He was fun to play with.
Dean Love. See the tear bat 2 on the socks of the players now.
Well, that was all right. Wilander lost the point, but it was a judicious approach. He had the short ball. And he did a couple of things previously, trying drop shots just to see if he could bring Lendl up and make him uncomfortable.
40 Love. Game to Lendl, but he's down a break to Mats Wilander, who leads 4-3 in the second. Lendl the winner in the first, 6-3. Final day of play, the 2 weeks of the French Open Championship. Chris Evert-Lloyd crowned as the women's title holder again for the 6th time, a record for women yesterday, and a brilliant piece of tennis drama as she defeated close friend and rival Martina Navratilova. Martina winning the doubles today. That is her 31st Grand Slam championship, counting singles, doubles, and mixed. Margaret Court finished with a total of 65, but Martina now is only 9 away from moving all the way into second place ahead of Billie Jean King's 39. And she's going for another right now as she teams with Heinz Gunhard over on court 1 against Paula Smith and Francisco Gonzalez in the mixed.
Martina broke a tie, Dick, with Helen Wills Moody, who had 30 titles, goes ahead of her. I hope Helen's watching at her home in Carmel, California. Wonderful woman, and she was the first American to win here in Paris, 1928.
There's a lot of pressure on Heinz Gunhard. To play mixed doubles with Martina is like a gimme in golf. If you don't win that, you can't beat anybody.
Well, Rosie Casals used to carry you, Stan.
Rosie was tough.
30 30-15. Wilander trying to hold serve and go up 5-3 in the second.
Mott's a little sure of himself now. Do you have that feeling too down close, Stan?
I do. He's more aggressive right now. This whole set he's been more aggressive. I like to see that.
It's wide. He really slugged the forehand in that rally, did Lendl.
The forehand, and then he bothered Wilander. He came up there, hit a little droopy shot, but hung up there and moved to his right and made Wilander try to hit too good a shot to pass him.
Even though Lendl doesn't volley very well, he can intimidate his opponent by being at the net because he's so big.
Game to Wilander. He leads 5-3.
Well, Stan, you indicated you admire Wilander at 20. He's not the 17-year-old that hugged the baseline and won here 3 years ago against Vilas. He's become a more complete player.
He really is, Dick. He's gone down to Australia. He's won twice down there. He's won here as a baseliner, but now he's a complete player. It's great to see this player, and he could win the U.S. Open with this game.
He could win Wimbledon one day too, Stan.
He sure could. He knows that Borg did it, and he knows that he could do it with his game.
How about Lendl?
Lendl is not, doesn't have as much of a chance to win Wimbledon, although he has a big serve. He doesn't feel comfortable at the net. He's got to get over that.
He says he's allergic to grass, yet he was playing golf the last time he skipped Wimbledon.
He's committed to play it now.
Wide, 15-all. Well, it wasn't until we came here for the first time, Bud, 3 years ago, that I really sensed the greatness of Bjorn Borg. To win 6 times on this slow, tough, slick surface, and then go 2 weeks later to Wimbledon on the fastest surface and win 5 straight times. No break in between. Borg raised his image considerably in my view.
And the grueling nature of this tournament. Lendl said he wasn't right for 2 months after winning here last year. Took so much out of it.
Well, Dick, you think from your view it's like that. Think from a player's view in my seat. It's unbelievable to do that.
.30-15. Lendl serving to stay in this second set after winning the first 6-3. Cans, 40-15.
At the end of this set, they're going to sprinkle the court and brush it because the court is getting chopped up right now. More bad bounces.
court blowing right into Lendl's face.
On the line, game to Lendl. But Wilander leads by a break 5-4. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Wilander serving for the second set, 5-4. Trying to pull even with Ivan Lendl, who won the opener 6-3. Biggest game of the match. Lendl with a chance to break back and try to get 2 sets up, and Wilander winning this game back even. Be interesting how they play it. Who will be the more aggressive?
Dick, that was a serve and volley attempt right there.
Wynn took that out 15 all. Blowing out again, 15-30. Seems Lendl just content to stay back, keep the ball in play.
Exactly.
It's really windy down here now, much windier than ever in the rest of the match, and Wilander's just playing it safe. I mean, Lendl's playing it safe and Wilander's missing.
Lendl was set up for that inside-out forehand drive.
Mats is just pleased he got out of that point, because the Wynn grabs his shot, pulls it toward the net, a setup almost.
30 all.
But there don't seem to be any really easy shots with this capricious, gusting wind.
Well, it's punishing, too, the way that red crushed earth just digs into your skin. Like being in a sandstorm. Take the chrome right off your elbows.
Yeah.
And a break point for Lendl.
30-40.
Well, it would seem the wind favors the player at this end. He can drive the ball into the wind, and it keeps it in play. And you have to be careful hitting toward Lendl's end. Well, that close. Just under the tape. Wedges. Deuce.
But you made a good statement there. It's really tough to hit any shot in this wind. Those easy shots there are not as easy as they look.
Real test of concentration, watching that ball all the way to the racket. Last minute, it's liable to dance away.
Oh. And he was brassy on that one. Decided to come.
Avantage, Wilander.
Set point for Mats Wilander. A point away from squaring the match at a set apiece.
Set to Wilander. It's 1-all. And
Wilander was a pickpocket. Down a break point, he gets to deuce and then plays 2 serve and volley points.
Winning the set 6-4. Hour and 2 minutes for that set, and the match an hour and 45 minutes old as Lendl opens the third.
Here's the set point. Good serve to the backhand, and Mats really got very close to the net to make the volley. Now there's the rip. Lendl can't hit it any harder. But Mats braced himself, took the shock, and knew he needed only to get the ball over the net.
Meanwhile, Lendl seems content to just lay back on the baseline. Well, he did make an approach, and it's 15-all.
Now, Wilander really should be up there at the net. Every time he sees Lendl hitting a volley, 80% of the time, Lendl's drop shotting. He's got to anticipate that and get to the net quickly.
And just like noting a pitcher in a certain spot, 2-0, he's going to give you the curveball. You start to read that, so go ahead and react to it.
Well, what do you call this shot? You can name it yourself. As Mats runs well, and then it's sort of a 3/4 lob. Lendl thought it was going to carry, and it didn't.
Oh, crossfire. 15-30.
Fortescue, Crudeau. Net judge. Sneak volley.
It pays off for a double break chance to start this third set.
Now, Wilander taking the initiative. He sees his ball is deep in the corner. Let's go in. Take a chance to get himself double breaker.
Lendl disagrees. Game to Wilander unless there's a change of thought by umpire Dorfman. Lendl going over to take a look at it.
Definitely out.
So Wilander, who broke Lendl to start the second set and won at 6-4, opens the third with a break of service.
Not in any argumentative mood, but perhaps not feeling well, or a call from Nathieu.
Now, Wilander's asking umpire Jacques Dorfman about it. And Dorfman says, oh, let the fellow do it. Here he comes. You may remember that Lendl against Jimmy Connors in the 1983 U.S. Open. Connors had a severe case of diarrhea, and they took the players aside before the match. The referee said, now, Ivan, we're going to allow Jimmy to make 2 trips away from the court. And this is to be understood. And Connors made 1, I believe, but he also won the title.
Lendl, his service game lost. Wilander up a break early in this third. Lendl 6-3 in the first set, and Wilander countering 6-4. You can see they have watered the court surface to take down some of that dust.
I think we're going to see a little more aggressive play from Lendl,
who has not been serving well, especially in that second set. That first service percentage down to 49%. 11 more winners, but 6 more unforced errors. Very clean set played by Wilander. A rare mistake. He was nearly flawless in that second set, and that was the manner of his play against McEnroe in the semis. But an opener now for Lendl to break back.
Difficult ball, blew away.
It's out.
Oh, was Wilander fortunate. Now, Lendl, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, makes the play. Now, look at the ball. It blows right past Wilander, and the lob beats him. However, it drops an inch long.
15-30, second serve. A couple of mistakes in this game for Wilander. That's about all he made the entire set. 2 chances for Lendl to get back the break. .30-40. Well, what Lendl was arguing about didn't appear to be any balls out or even close to the line.
Well, Dick, during the rally, a cellophane wrapper, I think from his own racket, flew up in the air, and he'd asked the umpire, the linesman, to take it out before.
Long, so 2 break chances fly away. Deuce. Seems suddenly, Stan, that both players are having trouble reading the ball as the wind shifted.
No, it's difficult out there. I was going to say that the quality of tennis in the second set particularly has been very good because of this wind. The wind is very tricky out there.
Oh, it's called good.
Lendl in control of that point all the way. In fact, Wilander made a terrific save on the sidelines to keep it alive. 3rd break chance for Lendl. 2nd game, 3rd set. Wilander up a break. Wasn't that a nicely angled volley?
The Swedish sneak. He's done it a couple of times. Now, he waits for a moment. Oh, sneak.
Lendl denied 3 times.
At court.
And a 4th break chance. When he does come to the net, he's been successful, but it just amazes you that he doesn't put more pressure on Wilander with that strong forehand. Come in, take a chance.
I'm surprised.
And Lendl breaks back. They're 1-all in the 3rd, each with a set.
Wilander is alert. He's sharp. He admits that he has motivation problems. He said, I really have been looking forward to this tournament for 2 months. The 4 important tournaments, he says, are the ones that I am fascinated by and I fix my attention on, and I really have trouble getting ready for anything other than the U.S., Wimbledon, Australia, and the French. And this is the one he really points for.
Bad bounce off that baseline. A few years ago, I didn't realize how important the French Open was. The past 2 years, I realized it is as important as Wimbledon. And of course, he was responding to the fact that he won it at 17. He was so wide-eyed and just a boy that he didn't know what he had accomplished. He was still thinking about Bjorn Borg as idol. Now he's his own man. Wide.
Well, that's right, Dick. The Swedes, while growing up as kids admiring Borg, got tired of hearing that they were clones.
So Smith and Gonzalez up a set against Navratilova and Gunther. Three break chances for Wilander.
So Mats, as quick in anticipation as anybody, passes off a weak volley.
Lendl's lobs weren't quite good enough, but they kept the ball in play.
He's like a guy on a stepladder that keeps slipping, reaching up to hammer that picture and just can't do much with it.
Fourth time the charm.
Yeah, if you get 4 lobs with that kind of topspin, you're going to make one of them.
Game to Wilander. All 3 games have gone against the server. It's 2-1 for the Swede.
Welcome back live. Paris. Clouds still off in the distance, but we've had no rain for quite some time after it rained throughout the morning, early afternoon. This match delayed about 15 minutes at the start. We are now at 5:34 in the late afternoon in Paris. Mats Wilander up a break in the third set, 2-1. Neither man able to hold serve in this third set. And there are 5 breaks apiece in the match.
That was a marvelous reaction. A ball right into his body, and somehow he hits a winning lob.
Just spooned that one over Lendl's head.
Let's watch his racket work once again. Lendl decides to attack, and he seems to have a volley that'll work. However, the 9-iron. Is this a genuine Swede on clay?
It is a little brassy, as you mentioned before, but to serve with a big forehand and come in. But if you do have a good serve, you got a lot of court to hit to.
30-15.
Backhand side.
He's got that spot marked, like hitting a wedge to the flag.
Point away from 3-1.
He was coming.
Wide, game to Wilander. He leads 3-1.
Splitting the first 2 sets. Wilander leading by a break in the third. Mats Wilander. He won here. Youngest ever for the French. In fact, the youngest ever to win a Grand Slam title. Only 17. Unseeded when he won the French in 1982. Then the next year ran into the national hero, Yannick Noah. And in the final match, Noah won the first French title here at the French Open for a Frenchman. 37 years. Last year was Lendl, rallying from 2 sets down to beat McEnroe.
Oh, my gosh.
What a point by Wilander. A great return of service, a save deep in the corner, and a perfect lob.
3 winning lobs among the last 4 points for Wilander. Now, as Lendl dug it out of the dirt, he made a good play, but he's beaten thoroughly on this.
The wind kept blowing that one away. Wilander is playing great stuff now.
Yeah, when Wilander beat Vilas 3 years ago, it was strictly, and some called it a boring match, just baseline, baseline, baseline. He has changed. He has made his game better.
He's seizing every opportunity, and he's taking the play right away from the man most people, or many people, think is #1 now, Lendl. And Wilander loves this tournament because nobody paid any attention to him as he moved quietly to the semis and then beat McEnroe in straight.
Oh! And now Lendl can share the feelings McEnroe had on Friday. Wilander at times can do nothing wrong.
Now he's keeping the ball in play there and setting himself up to get back to the baseline, and his confidence shows because on the dead run he hits his best forehand of the day.
Lendl's dazed out there.
And it's only the 3rd point for Lendl in the last 3 games. Double break for Wilander to go up 4-1.
Well, give Lendl credit. He came in on a second ball there, and I think that put Wilander off for a second.
This year, winning all the big matches, Lendl has come through with big serves in occasions like this.
First ball.
Oh, you called it, Stan. The first ace of the match.
Boy, those champions know those things, don't they? Here they've been playing 2 hours and 9 minutes, the first Lendl ace, and Smith calls it right on the button.
Just dumb luck. That's why I'm sitting here instead of playing.
So 2 breakers saved by Lendl. 1 more chance for Wilander.
Wow. Oh, and then he nets a forehand and is down 4-1. Mats Wilander has the lead in this 85 final.
There's our friend Johnny Carson, a great tennis fan and often a visitor with us at Wimbledon.
Sitting behind Frank Buck.
He could do something with this shot, don't you think? Bag of goodies for Lendl, apparently a high carbohydrate
that he mixes with water. Lendl's shot was long, not called. The point is still going.
Wilander takes a look at the spot.
That was worth trying. I was wondering if Mats would start going to a backhand chip now and again to pull Lendl in.
Leading 4-1 in the third. It's wide.
Almost cadaverous, the Ostrava ghost. Lendl with his diet that's knocked off about 11 pounds, but he says he feels stronger than ever in his life.
Power forehand to give him a triple break.
I think the diet has helped him physically. We'll see this replay right here.
Now, Wilander is going, but it doesn't matter.
I was going to say the diet has helped Lendl physically, but I think it's helped him even more mentally because of the discipline that it takes to take that diet.
With that backhand inside out, it was just skidding away, breaking away from Lendl. 15-40. And Lendl does break. Gets one of the two that Wilander owned on him in this set. And now it's Lendl serving 2-4. He has not been able to hold his serve in this set. Broken 3 straight times.
He must right here. This is a gigantic game for Ivan Lendl.
He's got to say to himself, it's only one break. If he holds here, breaks back, he's back in the match.
And an overrule by umpire Jacques Dorfman, giving Lendl another ace.
His second, but Wilander helped to influence Dorfman. He was walking as if he said, hey, the shot was good.
Wilander did overrule that. Dorfman really didn't. He waited too long to overrule it officially.
Woo.
Wilander playing most of that rally from inside the baseline, finally slamming the winner.
That overrule, or that point that Wilander gave Lendl, reminds me of the fact that Wilander's not only improved or matured as a tennis player, but he's matured as an individual, and he's one of the leaders now of the ATP. He's on the board of directors.
Pretty good model, isn't he?
He's respected by all the players.
That's the union, the Association of Tennis Professionals.
(30-15).
30 all.
Lendl hit that forehand flat-footed. He was just standing around. He's got to move a bit more.
Ivan Lendl in his 7th Grand Slam final. He's 1-5 to win the French last year. Wilander in his 5th. He's 3-1. His only loss to Noah 2 years ago in the French.
Now Lendl, who had seemed lulled, suddenly swooped.
Kind of a Sunday hitting party there.
He's been very casual on the baseline.
His rare attempts to attack have paid dividends, but really have not encouraged him to try more often. Point away from holding his service for the first time in this 3rd set.
Delicious point. Unfortunately, it ends with an error.
There was a lot to that point. Stretching by both men. Pretty good approach by Wilander, except the topspin gave Lendl a chance to stay in the point, and we haven't seen Wilander slice his approach yet.
Lendl's hitting the ball too short.
This huge crowd mesmerized by a very entertaining match for this 85 French Championship. Deuce.
Well, that continues to backfire on Lendl. And as we watch the replay, I'd like to say to Stan Smith, do you think that's a tired play? It often happens when a guy's trying to win a cheap point. He's getting a little weary.
I think he might be a little bit worried, but more frustrated, not knowing what to do. He doesn't play his strategy too well sometimes.
Breakpoint Wilander to go up 5-2. Lendl, as we said, has not held service in this set.
Matt saw that the drop shot was coming. I thought he would make the play, but it was a little too good.
Good example again how well he used the slide on clay to deliver the shot.
Like an ice skater, and he was a pretty good hockey player in Växjö, his community in Sweden.
Second break point in this game for Wilander. He leads 4-2 in the third, each with a set. And that drop has worked twice now for Lendl in this game.
2 for 3.
I still think that's a bad shot. It's not a very high percentage shot. And to me, what I see is that he's trying to get cheap points. He may be tired.
That's why I wondered if he was tired. Lendl resorting to the dropper. Not like Red Auerbach. That's the shot he uses on every point.
You can hear that wind whistling through the giant chestnuts that rim this center court at Roland Garros. Wide. Wilander's third break chance in this game. Lendl just having a devil of a time handling his own service games.
He's not comfortable in these conditions. And Wilander said a few days ago he liked it against McEnroe, the heavy court, the wind. So why shouldn't he like it today? Net court.
Boy, that went into the wind, and it almost bounced back on Lendl's side.
A lot of backspin on it. Now here it comes. And the wind does indeed suck it back toward Lendl.
Fourth deuce.
Now, those drop shots remind me of the old golf saying, you drive for show and you putt for dough. That just show those drop shots. That's not going to win the match for him. He's got to play steady, deep shots with his drive.
Wilander another chance to go up 5-2.
Boy. Monumental points. Oh!
Wilander is long, but what a save he made on return of service.
Lendl thinks he has a chance to get in there. Then the ball starts playing tricks.
Deuce again. 5th time. This is the longest game of the match. Yeah, Wilander gets the break point. Lendl wins the next. We've just been yo-yoing from deuce to advantage Wilander.
11th break point against Lendl in this set. And the set rides on it.
Lendl's not so sure.
Jacques Dorfman was quick to back up the call of Michel Petit. Lendl was like Harry Houdini escaping. Mats continues to bang the ball back at Lendl so he's magnetic. And eventually Lendl won it, although that drop shot was of not much use, although it may have set up this.
Ball long, deuce.
And finally, it's Lendl that has the advantage.
Remember, he's down 4-2, down a break, trying to hold serve and get back at Wilander. Lendl took the first set 6-3. Wilander answered 6-4.
Edberg, Bud Collins, and Stan Smith, and it's good afternoon to many of you fans watching live in the United States. It's after 6 o'clock here in Paris, France, the 1985 French Open Championship. We're delighted to bring to you by satellite live, and hope you'll be with us for our breakfast at Wimbledon and all of our Wimbledon coverage, which will begin 2 weeks from today. Ivan Lendl, Mats Wilander, each with a set in a struggle of the 7th game of the 3rd, with Wilander up a break 4-2, and we're back to deuce. The 7th deuce of this game.
19th point of a very critical game. see Mats itching to go, not quite sure. Like a bird dog, his tail wiggling.
And his play at the net has been the difference in the match. His 6th break point in this game.
Breaks again and leads 5-2 in the third.
Well, the red clay, the Terre-Battue of Roland Garros, has fit young Mats Wilander rather neatly through his career. And now with a 5-2 lead, he serves for the go-ahead set. This the third. Lendl opens with a driving winner. And the first serve percentage, Wilander right there, 3 out of 4.
Two winners with that forehand.
Lendl has Wilander right where he wants him, serving. Ivan unable to hold his own 4 straight times in the set. Just wide.
In watching that point, both players in view, you got the difference in the match. Wilander so bouncy, so eager, well positioned on every point, and Lendl seeming sluggish.
It's wide. That brought back moments from last year. Remember, as Lendl rallied from 2 sets down and he was driving that cross-court backhand and pinning the lines against McEnroe as he rallied to win the last 3 sets and the championship. The approach is surprisingly 31-30. Lendl actually won more than Wilander. That surprises indeed, and the point's about the same. That doesn't reflect the fact that Wilander has been the more aggressive player. Never any surprises from Lendl.
Whoops.
And it's Wilander who is wide or long. And a break point for Lendl. Mats with a stare at that sideline. He thought maybe the ball was out.
Mats, again, driving for the net. Doesn't hit a very good volley, but it was difficult in the wind. This one should win a point.
Deuce. Set point, Wilander.
Wilander looks like he's playing in 4th gear and Lendl in 2nd gear.
Well, he made that trip back into the dressing room. We have to speculate that he is not 100% Lendl.
Wilander takes the lead in this 85 French Championship. He wins the 3rd, 6-2.
So Wilander, who has become the opportunist today, is going to get in here whenever he can now. Not cautious as he was earlier in the match about approaching, but saying to Lendl, pass me if you can.
And a rare show of emotion by Wilander. Lendl serves to open the 4th set. And with a big serve, he starts things. And another good serve.
Well, I suppose Lendl has to look at it this way. He's in better shape than he was last year. He was down 2 sets to love against McEnroe.
Lendl starting well, winning the first 6-3. Then Wilander 6-4, 6-2. 30 love. Not much wrong with Lendl's play when he does come to the net.
Lendl really looked like a volleyer there. He moved in well. He hit the ball on the move and very decisively. That's what he needs to do here.
That was his best volley. Another dust storm.
A love game for Lendl to open the 4th. But Mats Wilander leads 2 sets to 1.
Play beginning earlier this time, and Wilander winning the first point. Unlike the championship match yesterday that had so many shifts in momentum and mood, this one has had really only 2. Lendl starting briskly, and Wilander finding himself in the 2nd and controlling the match since.
John Anders Sjögren in the center, who is the coach of most of the leading Swedes, including Wilander, Joachim Nyström, Anders Jared, not Henrik Sundström, the Swedish SWAT team. And not only are they playing a dominant role in professional tennis, but down at Georgia, Michael Pernfors has won the National Intercollegiate title 2 straight years, and Georgia won the NCAA team title.
Pernfors, who is, what, about 21, isn't he, Bud?
Around in there. I don't actually know, Dick.
Which would actually make him old, or at least he fits in the upper half of that Swedish SWAT team in
Well,
age.
if you can't do too well at home, they send you to college in America to improve your backhand.
Wilander has the game. It's 1-all.
The influence of one man on a total country's sports habits, Bjorn Borg. It's, I guess, somewhat like everyone wanting to be a slugger in the days of Babe Ruth, or a great champion, the influence of Joe Louis.
Disappointing thing is not many women have come out of Sweden, but now Sven Davidson, who was the finalist of Tony Trabert 30 years ago, is coaching some young women from Sweden, including Katarina Lindqvist, who looks quite good.
1-all, fourth set. Wilander jumping all over a bad volley.
Now, Lendl decides to come in on that topspin ball, but it gave Wilander a lot of time. Lendl's volley was not very good.
Love 15.
Coach Roach will work on Lendl approaching on a slice.
Lendl rubbing some dust out of his eye. Love 30, and Lendl continues to struggle on his serve. Through 3 sets, you see the first serve percentage highly favoring Wilander. Winners exactly even. That's the rally of Wilander, and unforced errors, Lendl's numbers creeping up. Certainly those numbers reflect the course of this match.
Jennifer Proud, our statistician.
And so she is.
Yes, we're proud of her. Uh-oh. Wilander, ever eager. He seems to approve of that shot.
Somebody yelled in the stands, "Come on, Ivan, wake up." I think he's right.
Triple breaker for Wilander. It doesn't look as if his heart's really in it in this fourth set, nor has it been for quite some time.
The wind took that right out.
This is a time that Ivan needs to reach down very deep and guts it out, just like McEnroe or Connors might.
And just as he did 1 year ago against McEnroe.
He's got a face of a fighter, doesn't he, Wilander? That try to beat me look.
Lecture Viking.
Meanwhile, Lendl catching some dust in the eye, and we can attest to the fact we were sitting in the wrong spot when a gust hit us, and it was a day and a half later we finally were able to get that ugly pebble out of there.
I think the umpire will be tolerant. A week ago, an umpire gave Jimmy Connors a penalty point for taking too long digging the dirt out. There was no reason for it.
Provoked a tirade by Connors that many of you saw.
It was within the rules, but there was no judgment used by the umpire. on a day such as this.
Connors threatened to quit if the penalty point stuck. He didn't quit, but he did go on to win the match.
He saw that flying shot, huh?
Yeah, he saw that forehand all right.
2 break points erased. A very critical service game for Lendl.
It looked like an angry forehand, that one there. Hit that about as hard as he's hit any all match. Really taking his time.
Look at Wilander jumping way over into the alley and then back.
To the line.
Wilander breaks. He's up 2-1 in the 4th. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Mats Wilander serving a breakup in the 4th, leading 2-1. Lendl started, stopped, and then attacked again and found himself in a bad position.
That was about as languid an approach as you would see. He did, in the immortal words of our partner Joanne Russell, he cashed it. Oh. Mats Wilander is sky high right now, and he's just saying to Lendl, if you think you can do it, give it a whirl. But I'm coming in.
30 love. And again. He was attacking behind his serve, and a good serve.
But you're absolutely right. He's flying out here without a plane. You can just tell by the way he's looking on the court. He's anxious, he's eager, he's jumping, he's ready to go.
It's long and a love game for Wilander. He leads 3-1 in the 4th, up 2-1. And over on court 1, we have match point. Martina Navratilova and Heinz Gundhardt. This is Navratilova at match point serving. Gundhardt, her partner, mixed doubles. And a put away. No, Gundhardt. And he has the winner, Martina Navratilova and Heinz Gundhardt, 6-2, 6-3, 6-2 win the mixed doubles over Smith and Gonzalez. And for Martina, it's her 31st and 32nd Grand Slam titles, winning also the women's double today. She was denied yesterday, Chris Evert-Lloyd, of a rare triple. You had to go all the way back to 1964 when Margaret Court won all 3 titles. A long lapse, and Martina came ever so close. But 2 titles she brings away from Paris on her way to Wimbledon.
And that was Paula Smith, who played at UCLA for Gail Godwin, and Francisco Gonzalez, out of Puerto Rico, who played at Ohio State for John Daly.
Meanwhile, Ivan Lendl in deep trouble. He's down 1-3 in the 4th, trailing by a set. Well, the fans here would, I think almost to the man and woman, want Lendl to rally and force a drama of a 5th set. But if that should not happen and we would have time, we'll be delighted to bring you some of the brilliance of yesterday's women's final. One of the best matches, certainly the best match, in the eyes of most experts here, of this 1985 tennis year for the women.
It was an all-time great match, Dick. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Wilander unhappy with himself, but
If you're aggressive, you're going to get caught occasionally.
And Martina, in winning number 32 in her major titles, her first major was the mixed doubles here in 1974 with the dashing Colombian Ivan Molina.
She won, didn't she win her first women's double with Chris Evert-Lloyd here?
Yeah.
Chris Evert then. This is a part of Lendl's game I don't understand.
Well, I'll certainly ask him about it.
That's better.
Love. Sometimes Lendl hits in a rally as if he's being paid by the minute.
There's Patrice Clare, who's the tournament director this year. It's his first year, and he's done very well.
Dick Lendl wants to change his pace a little bit, but he's got to take advantage of those high shots and come in a little bit more.
Double fault. His second, it's 40-15.
To Lendl, but he trails Mats Wilander 3-2 in the fourth.
Back to the action in the fourth set. Wilander leading 2-1 and up a break 3-2. His first serve was returned wide by Lendl. 15-love.
I'm interested in Stan Smith's thinking right here, because this match is still eminently winnable for Lendl. And I remember, Stan, that 1971 Wimbledon match when you had John Newcomb 2-1. You can get careless here, can't you?
But he can be careless after this point's over. He can be careless here. He's anxious to win the match, but he can't be over anxious and make stupid errors trying to win it too soon.
Meanwhile, Lendl has to change some pattern here. He's got to break Wilander, do something to change what's happening.
I don't think Lendl knows what pattern to use here. It's where his strategy in the past has really let him down, and I think it's letting him down right now.
30-15. He doesn't seem to be moving well at all. Point away from 4-2.
It is disgusting, says Lendl, as he commits another mistake.
Ivan Lendl, fourth set, trailing 2-1 and trailing in this set 2-4. And the last game about as poorly as Lendl has played in the 3 hours of this match. 3:03 to be exact. "25 minutes before 7 in the evening in Paris. They're long days now. It's light till almost 10 o'clock at night. Oh, my. Again, he almost brought that ball back to his side of the net.
Well, Lendl did a lot of things. For the first time in quite a while, he started to mix it up. Now that drop shot
actually came to rest against the net.
Won the point, but he was changing speeds. He was using slice along with topspin and playing a determined point. Thoughtful point.
15 love.
But I thought he played a thoughtful point until that last shot. I mean, that last shot was stupid. I think that's a sign of real fatigue, or else he feels he can't win.
Lendl stretches well, but he doesn't even want to watch what comes next because Wilander sitting on the net.
15 all. Wilander only 7 points from victory.
Another double breaker for Wilander.
Wilander, ever alert to the possibilities. A chance to get in and once again lean on Lendl.
unforgiving, unrelenting, steely Swede, Mats Wilander, when we return, will be serving for the 85 championship. So many came to Paris with their own notoriety. The Americans searching for that elusive French win. Number 1 seed McEnroe, number 3 Connors, Yannick Noah and Henri Leconte, two highly praised and lauded Frenchmen. The number 2 seed defending champion Ivan Lendl, and then the Swedish team, and hidden delightfully anonymous in the group, Mats Wilander. But his name will be remembered in headlines again this afternoon, for he is just 3 points from victory.
Dick, if Red Auerbach was Swedish, he'd be lighting a cigar right about now.
Yeah, bring out the smorgasbord. Out. And as well as Wilander has played, he was even better against McEnroe on Friday.
It was a different kind of match, and McEnroe brought it out of him with his acrobatic attacking himself. And Wilander indeed raised his level. But he's done what has had to be done today.
And now only a miracle can dig Lendl out of his deep hole. .15, 2 points from the title. And it's not the same Lendl that we saw scratch and fight down 2 sets a year ago to beat John McEnroe.
And what a feat for Wilander to beat numbers 1 and 2 in the world on successive occasions, semis and final.
A rare mistake, perhaps a mark of a little too much eagerness on the part of the man in control of the match.
Not a good tournament for number 1. Navratilova losing and McEnroe.
In a sport that runs so true to form, that is a surprise, but Paris has had a lot of those.
It's wide. Match point Wilander.
And once again, Wilander was daring Lendl. He came in on nothing.
Sometime you forget he's only 20. Mats Wilander is the 1985 French champion. His second French title. 3-6, 6-4, 6-2, 6-2. Do we have another Borg developing in the men's game? Well, they gather around the champion, Mats Wilander, defending champion Ivan Lendl, who had breezed through this tournament 6 in a row and won the opening set in commanding fashion, 6-3. And then the Swedish wave as Wilander 6-4, 6-2, 6-2, and now they'll make their way up the steps at the far end for the trophy presentation. Wilander should bring a rocking chair and his favorite sofa. He has enjoyed Roland Garros so very much.
Congratulations from half of the four French Musketeers. Barotra and Lacoste. Mats Wilander for the second time is the French champion. And Ivan Lendl for the seventh time in a final. For the sixth time, he finishes as the runner-up. Not one of the favorite words for a tennis player's dictionary. And his game's certainly faltered. Now,
I just
Wilander.
like to say that I'm very happy that I won today. I think I wasn't expected to win this tournament. I didn't expect myself to do, but I was playing quite okay. And I really like to play in Paris. I like the organization, like the spectators, and I just hope I can come back next year and do as good as I did this year. Thank you.
So at 20, he already has 4 Grand Slam championships, 2 French and 2 Australian on the slow and fast surface.
I would like to congratulate Mats. I think he played very well, and I hope I get a chance next year to make it even. Thank you.
And Lendl's speech about as involved as his play the last couple of sets. Boy, watching Wilander the last 2 matches against McEnroe #1 and Lendl #2, he has won new fans in Paris, and I'm one of them. His play has been delightful, and the grit of this young Swede reminds you of the toughness of his idol Borg. Final congratulations. And Wilander showed early in the match that he would not be content staying on the baseline. He would change strategies. He would attack, and his final serve is netted as he was approaching behind it. And the 1985 is his. Très bon, Mats Wilander. Let's go down to Bud Collins.
Mats, congratulations. We stand here again as we did a couple of years ago. Why do you think you won it, champion?
I don't know. I think I felt pretty good when I started the match, but I wasn't concentrated enough. I had 2 love at points for 3 love. Then Ivan started to come back, and then in the second set I got a good start, and I was really excited when I won the second set, and then after that I felt that I have to rush myself all the time.
Did you feel that he faded away in this match?
I think that maybe he felt the pressure to win, I think, in the end, because he missed a few shots that he, usually doesn't miss. But I don't know, I was trying to rush him and trying to come to net. Maybe he felt the pressure, but I think maybe he felt the pressure because he was a favorite of the match, I think.
Mats, I want to check your Swedish passport, the way you played some of those points. Now at 5-4 in the second set, you're behind a set, and it is deuce, and the match could slip away then, and you played 2 serve and volley points.
Well, I don't know. This is something that I worked on, I think, quite a bit, and I feel quite comfortable now at the net, and I think that everybody was talking that I shouldn't come to net, but now, I think I show myself and everybody that this is my game, I think.
Mats, you haven't had a good year this year until now. You haven't won a tournament. Why suddenly Paris when the talk was of everyone else, McEnroe and Noah and LeConte and Lendl? Why Wilander?
Well, I think 1982, I never won a tournament before I won the French Open, and I came and I won the French Open, the first tournament of my life, and now this is the first tournament since the Australian Open, and it seems like I concentrate most in the Grand Slams. At least I'm the only one who can win the million this year.
You're headed to Wimbledon. We see you, a young man, developing an attacking game, coming to the net fearlessly. Can you win Wimbledon?
I don't know. It's different to serve and volley in Wimbledon still, but...
But you've won Australia twice.
I won Australia twice, but I think that you know, still grass, I think is McEnroe's really good surface, and I think he's going to be very tough. But I mean, I don't know. I didn't expect myself to win this tournament, but I could maybe win Wimbledon. But I think McEnroe is the favorite still.
Well, McEnroe was the favorite the other day. What happened there? How did you beat John McEnroe?
Well, I think I played very good at I think I was probably my best match of the tournament. But I don't know, John, you know, he missed a couple of easy shots also, and I won the most important points. But I have been very lucky the whole time. Everything has gone my way, I think.
You made your luck today, champion. Here he is, the 1985 champion of France, Mats Wilander. Tak, lika til.
Tak.